In recent weeks, a wave of viral videos has swept across social media, spreading confusion and horror among millions of users. These clips, shared massively on TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, and Facebook, claim to show an absolutely terrifying scene. A young killer whale trainer, only 23 years old, named Jessica Radcliffe, allegedly meeting a brutal death, torn apart by a giant orca during a live aquatic show. The video, edited like an amateur documentary, suggests that she was working for a so-called Pacific Blue Marine Park, supposedly located somewhere along the U.S. West Coast. In the footage, the young woman appears to be performing an aquatic choreography with her orca when everything suddenly turns into horror. The animal attacks, grabs her, and devours her before the helpless eyes of the audience. The story is crafted so realistically that thousands of viewers came to believe it was a real tragedy that had occurred during a live show. Very quickly, social media went ablaze. Still images extracted from the videos also circulated. Some showed Jessica Radcliffe being chased by the orca, while others, even more disturbing, displayed a blood-soaked sea creature with what seemed to be human arms protruding from its gaping mouth. Such shocking depictions sparked a mix of fear and morbid fascination, further fueling the virality of the story. Jessica Radcliffe's name began trending worldwide, triggering a wave of outraged comments, heated debates, and shaken reactions. Many saw in it a tragedy comparable to the real incidents that have occurred in marine parks. But what most people didn't know yet was that the story had been completely fabricated. In reality, none of it ever happened. Internationally renowned media outlets such as Forbes and the International Business Times quickly proved that the videos and images had in fact been generated by artificial intelligence. Investigators discovered that not only were the images created using advanced AI software, but the videos also employed artificial voices imitating testimonies or human narrations, giving the whole thing a pseudo-documentary style. Yet, upon closer inspection, the inconsistencies were glaring. The characters' movements sometimes appeared oddly mechanical, the laws of physics were defied, and the spurting blood looked more like the over-the-top special effects of a Quentin Tarantino movie than the reality of a tragic accident. Adding to this was the total absence of tangible proof. No official statement from any marine park, no police report, no credible news article, and not even an obituary to back up the supposed drama. Perhaps the most damning fact was that neither Jessica Radcliffe nor the Pacific Blue Marine Park actually exist in the real world. In short, the whole episode was nothing more than a digital hoax, an alarming demonstration of what AI can produce when used to deceive the public. This example vividly illustrates the growing fear among experts. Artificial intelligence could become a formidable tool of disinformation, blurring the line between fiction and reality ever further. The International Business Times points out that most fake news draws upon authentic events or well-known stories to appear more credible. That's exactly what happened here. Indeed, real incidents involving orcas and their trainers are already documented. The most famous dates back to 2010, when at SeaWorld Orlando, the orca Tilikum attacked trainer Dawn Brancho, violently seizing her and dragging her to the bottom of the tank, where she drowned. The event made headlines worldwide and reignited debates about the conditions of orcas in captivity. By drawing inspiration from real tragedies like this one, the creators of the Jessica Radcliffe hoax managed to lend their story an air of plausibility. Audiences, recalling Tilikum and other infamous accidents, were thus more inclined to believe the fabricated tragedy might actually have happened. The problem is that social platforms, in their relentless race for viral content, offer few safeguards. Fact-checking is often minimal, and tools for detecting AI-generated videos are still in their infancy. As a result, millions of people watch, share, and comment without taking the time to verify sources. What may seem at first glance like a harmless prank, such as a fake orca attack, actually raises a much more serious question. Will we soon be unable to distinguish truth from lies? The Radcliffe affair may be just an anecdote, but it serves as a chilling warning. Because if today it's a fake animal tragedy, tomorrow it could be manipulated videos of political events, armed conflicts, or humanitarian disasters. In other words, This is likely only the beginning of an era in which digital manipulation will irreversibly cloud our perception of reality. Imagine for a moment, you're sitting comfortably at home, phone in hand, when you stumble upon this terrifying video. The screen vibrates with blood-soaked images. The AI has generated the deafening splash of water, muffled screams, and the massive shadow of the orca striking its victim. Everything feels so real that even the most skeptical viewers shiver. And yet, every pixel, every movement of the scene was fabricated in secrecy, in digital studios where programmers manipulate algorithms to produce something that looks like reality but doesn't exist. The horror you feel is only an illusion, carefully orchestrated by an artificial intelligence capable of imitating life, sound, and human emotion. This phenomenon, which some already call next-generation deepfake, isn't limited to marine park videos or spectacular incidents. It is transforming the way we perceive information. In the past, one would simply read a newspaper or watch a TV report to stay informed. Today, a video or an image can instantly circulate worldwide, be liked, commented on, shared, and go viral before any journalist has had time to check its authenticity. Falsehood goes viral, while truth struggles to surface. That's exactly what happened with the Jessica Radcliffe story. Within days, the name of a person who doesn't even exist was on everyone's lips, sparking fear, anger, and fascination. And yet, behind the illusion lies a disturbing truth. The technology used to create the video doesn't require extraordinary expertise. With the right tools, almost anyone can produce an incredibly realistic visual narrative, capable of fooling even the most discerning eyes. The implications are profound. If today it's aquatic park stories, tomorrow it could be fake political speeches, impossible accident footage, fabricated evidence of crimes that never happened. AI has already crossed a line we once thought uncrossable. It can create a convincing alternative reality, one that takes root in the public's mind as fact. As experts sound the alarm, it becomes clear that we are entering an era where discerning truth from falsehood will no longer be a matter of common sense. Every image, every video could be manipulated. And this Jessica Radcliffe story, although entirely fictitious, is a harsh warning. The line between reality and fiction can now be erased with a single click. Spectators, internet users, all of us, are witnessing a silent yet formidable revolution. The question is no longer whether we will encounter deepfakes, but how long it will take before a deepfake irreversibly alters our perception of the world. Ultimately, the Radcliffe affair is more than just a prank. It is the symbol of a near future where fabricated stories, doctored videos, and manipulated images may become more powerful than truth itself. A time when fear and emotion will be the easiest levers to sway public opinion. And in that world, vigilance, critical thinking, and skepticism toward everything we see will be our only weapons. Because if we fail to develop these reflexes now, we may end up living in a reality where even our memories, emotions, and certainties can be shaped by invisible algorithms, capable of turning lies into truth at the speed of a click. Now imagine the scene in your mind. The water reflects the bright lights of the marine park, shimmering like a deceptive mirror. The spectators applaud, unaware of what lurks beneath the surface. And then, suddenly, everything changes. The illusion is flawless. A sudden movement of the orca, a chill in the air, a muffled cry. Even though it doesn't exist, your brain reacts as if it were real. That is exactly what the creators of this video intended to provoke. AI doesn't just generate images. It manipulates our emotions. It plays with our fear and our fascination for the unimaginable. This morbid fascination partly explains why the Jessica Radcliffe story spread so explosively. Internet users are drawn to the spectacular, the tragic, the shocking, and the incomprehensible. Each share, each comment, each reaction feeds the algorithm, and soon the video becomes omnipresent. Even when some begin to doubt, the effect is already there. The image is etched in memory, and for many it existed, even though it never happened. This is the chilling power of AI-driven disinformation. It creates a false collective memory, an invented recollection that feels real. Upon deeper investigation, experts identified numerous clues betraying the hoax. The water moves strangely, the shadows don't match the lighting, human gestures look slightly mechanical. Even the blood, bright red and exaggerated, defies any biological logic. And yet, for the average viewer, all this can pass as authentic. The AI-generated voices add yet another layer of realism, narrating, commenting, dramatizing, and reinforcing the illusion that you are witnessing a real tragedy. This phenomenon is not isolated. All over the internet, fictional stories, deepfakes, and visual manipulations spread at exponential speed. The boundary between reality and fiction fractures with every new viral clip. And with the increasing sophistication of AI, these images will only become harder to distinguish from the real thing. Imagine a future where every video, every photo, every testimony could be fabricated from scratch, where we could no longer trust our own eyes. The Jessica Radcliffe case is merely the latest and most spectacular illustration of this problem. The consequences are profound. Disinformation is no longer limited to words. Has become visual, emotional, immersive. False stories can provoke fear, panic, anger, or even influence political decisions. What we see can now be manipulated to alter our perception of the world, our beliefs, and our reactions. And even if certain incidents, like that of Jessica Radcliffe, are purely fictional, they foreshadow a world in which lies may appear more real than reality itself. So what can we do? How do we navigate this ocean of manipulated images and videos, where every click can plunge us into a story that never existed? Vigilance becomes essential. We must learn to doubt, to verify sources, to analyze details, and to be wary of anything that seems too spectacular to be true. Because tomorrow, it may no longer be about marine parks or orcas, but about political events, accidents, conflicts, or disasters. And in this future that is already unfolding, knowing how to distinguish truth from falsehood will be a vital skill, as essential as knowing how to read or write. The story of Jessica Radcliffe will remain a warning. It shows how technology can manipulate our perception, create artificial emotions, and generate realistic fear over an event that never took place. It is a demonstration of AI's power, but also a lesson in caution for all of us. In a world where the line between reality and fiction blurs more with each passing day, only one certainty remains. We must learn to look beyond the images, to question every video, every story, and never accept reality as it is presented to us, especially when it seems too dramatic to be true. And maybe, just maybe, the next time you see a shocking video in your newsfeed, you will pause for a moment. You will think, is this real, or am I watching the perfect product of artificial intelligence, designed to make me react, to make me share, to make me believe? Because in this ever-evolving digital world, that question may become the most important of all. Picture yourself once again in front of your screen. The video begins quietly, with calm images of a clear pool where orcas glide silently beneath the surface. Everything is peaceful, almost hypnotic. Then, without warning, a movement that's too fast, a reflection that shimmers strangely, and your mind begins to sense danger. Even if you know the images are computer-generated, something inside you reacts instinctively. The tension rises. Your eyes follow every gesture of the orca and its fictional trainer, every splash, every shadow cast on the walls of the pool. The illusion is complete. AI has succeeded in creating a scene that plays with your senses, stimulating your emotions as if you were truly there, at the water's edge. What makes this story so fascinating is the way it blends reality and fiction. The creators exploited our collective memory. We have all heard of Telecom at SeaWorld, or other tragic incidents involving orcas and their trainers. By drawing on these real memories, the Jessica Radcliffe video instantly gains credibility. Even skeptics can be fooled at first viewing. This is exactly what makes AI so dangerous. It knows how to exploit our emotions, our memories, and our experiences to create an illusion of authenticity. Every detail of the video was designed to shock. The bright red of the blood, the metallic shimmer of the water, the contrast between the majestic beauty of the orca and the apparent terror of the trainer. The sounds are manipulated to amplify the fear. The slapping of fins on water, bursts of adrenaline, screams that seem to echo in the room where you are watching. Everything is calculated to make you shiver, to capture your attention, and to push you to share the experience with others. In this world, spectacle surpasses reality. It becomes an instrument of emotional manipulation. And that is where the problem becomes truly worrying. The Jessica Radcliffe story may seem harmless, almost amusing to debunk, but it reveals a possible future where every video we see could be an artificial construction, designed to influence our perception. Deepfakes are no longer just tools of entertainment. They are becoming weapons. Imagine accident footage, crime scenes, or political events falsified with the same precision. Imagine the fear, panic, and anger that could follow. The consequences for society, politics, and even our very ability to distinguish truth from falsehood are immense. But there is something subtler and more frightening still. Even when the deception is exposed, the effect persists. The image of the orca attacking Jessica Radcliffe remains engraved in viewers' minds. The emotions triggered by the video do not simply vanish once we learn it is fake. The human brain records the fear, the fascination, the horror as though it had truly been experienced. This ability of AI to create false emotional memories could transform the very way we perceive reality. To navigate this digital world, we must learn to become critical viewers. We must systematically ask ourselves, what is real? What has been fabricated? What clues betray manipulation? Vigilance is our only protection against a distorted reality. And yet, every day we are exposed to millions of pieces of content, videos, images, articles, whose authenticity is uncertain. The story of Jessica Radcliffe is only a warning. It shows us how easy it is to create a narrative, make it credible, and deceive the public on a massive scale. In this era where AI can simulate reality with unsettling perfection, the role of the viewer changes. We become investigators, detectives of truth. And like any investigation, this requires patience, attention to detail, and an understanding of the technologies at play. Every image must be questioned, every video analyzed, every source verified. Because tomorrow, the next Jessica Radcliffe may not be a fictional story, but a manipulated video meant to influence your opinions, your emotions, your decisions. So remember, what you see is not always what it seems. Behind every image, behind every viral clip, may lie a reality manufactured by artificial intelligence. The Jessica Radcliffe affair teaches us this in a dramatic and spectacular way. The future of disinformation is already here. And it will not stop at shocking us for just a few minutes. It is transforming our perception of the world. One pixel at a time, one click at a time. Vigilance, critical thinking, and caution are now our strongest weapons in this new digital age.